Hey everyone, this is Grandmaster Ben Finegold, and this is 5 Minutes with Ben, and I'm Ben. And we're going to look at a game that I beat Bobby Fischer in 1986, but not the world champion, famous Bobby Fischer. This guy is also Robert Fischer, and he's been between, I guess, 2000 and 2200 for the last 40 years. And funny thing is, not only did I play him in 1986, which is the game I'm going to show you now, when I was 16, but I also played him in 2022 in one of my last tournaments in Charlotte. And in both games, I won drawn end games. This drawn ending, I was always like a little bit better. Like, you'd prefer to have black, but if two engines were playing, it would be a draw. And the other one was a dead draw, and I sort of tricked him at the end because he had less than a minute on his clock. So it was a time trouble mistake. Okay, so I have black, and I'm better because, 85% of the reason I'm better is my king. My king's in the center, and it's going to do stuff, and his king's on h3. His king's not going to do nothing. So this position, I'm actually winning. If I went back 5 or 6 moves, I wouldn't be, but eventually he made a mistake. What he should have been doing this ending is keeping his king, somewhere in the center, if possible. But he was content to stay on the king side. So last 15 moves, his king has been like trapped in the corner. Okay, now I have a winning idea. And the way that you win end games typically is you create a passed pawn and you win with your passed pawn. There's not a lot of other ways to win an end game. Obviously, you can checkmate your opponent in the end game without promoting a pawn, but that's hard. If you promote a pawn, that's easy. Okay, so of all the pawns on the board, the most likely pawn to promote is my a4 pawn, because that's the closest to promoting, and it's the furthest from his king. So what I want to do is make that a passed pawn, and I want to move my king over to my passed pawn, but at the moment, if I move my king over, my bishop needs defense. So I started with bishop f5 check, so I could move my king over to the queen side. And he can't take my bishop. Okay, he moved his king. And then I played the winning move. It's funny, I always think this is a very easy idea to see, and I've shown it to hundreds of people, and most people don't get it. And I give them hints. I'm like, you want to create a passed pawn, and the passed pawn you want to create is the one that's closest to queening, and that like gives the answer away, or so I thought. Hopefully for you, that gives you the answer. And this game was played in 86 when none of my rules existed and none of you were born yet. So I didn't have the rule always sacrifice the exchange. But this game helped create that rule, and I sacrificed the exchange because he has to take with the pawn, and now my a pawn is unstoppable. He has to give away his rook. So I play king c4, and you don't really have to calculate. You're going to like promote your pawn. And his king is here. If his king was on b2, then he's probably winning. But with his king on the king side, I'm winning because I have the very simple plan of taking the pawn and then just promoting. Okay, he played rook e7, and here I got greedy, which isn't necessarily wrong. In fact, my engine on depth 25, which is where it's at now, actually plays this move. I didn't see any hurry in queening my pawn since he can't stop me. So I saved my g-pawn. I played g6. Not sure if that makes any sense, but I wanted to have all my pawns on the king side when he sacrificed his rook for my a pawn. so he wouldn't have a 3-2 majority. It doesn't matter, but I'd rather have the G pawn than not have it. And what's going to happen is he's going to sacrifice his rook for my A pawn eventually, and I still keep all 3 of my pawns. So, why not? Okay, he played king F1. That's too slow. And also, in this position, it's arguable if he plays rook A7 where I should move my king, because they all win. Should I take on B5 and then take on B4? Should I take on B4 and then queen my A pawn? Or should I play king B3 and queen my A pawn quicker? The engine says they all win, and very slightly the best is king takes B5, and then king takes B4, and so on. I'm not sure what I would have done, because the game was played almost 40 years ago. Okay, so he played king F1, so I played A3, king E1, A2, rook A7, king B3, and my next 2 moves are going to be king B2 and promote, and then he's down a piece for nothing. So here he resigned. And as a consequence of this game, and this is very unusual today, and it's so unusual, I can't remember any tournament I've ever played in other than this one where this prize existed. There was a best endgame prize. I'm sure there's best endgame prizes in tournaments, just not ones that I play in. And I won best endgame prize, which was $50. And in 1986, I was 16. That was a lot of money to me. I didn't win any prize in the tournament, but the $50 best endgame prize, I'll take it. So that was nice. I sacked the exchange. I created a passed pawn. And because my king was better than his, I won. That's all this stuff I like to do. Sack an exchange, have a better king in an ending, and promote a passed pawn. That's like my 3 favorite things. Well, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. That was at least 5 minutes with Ben, probably more like 7 or 8. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time with more 5 minutes with Ben. Bye.